Hey everybody, it's Otto. Today we're going to be looking over our Inktober drawings from 2018 and 2019. Now, I don't have them all because I suck, but I do have the most important ones, and unfortunately they're not in order, so enjoy. Alright guys, so this is from October 2nd of 2018. This was the first year that I did Inktober. I don't think I stuck to any of the prompts. I might have done one or two randomly if I was interested in it, but I believe this was one of the first times that I actually made something that I liked using pointillism or stippling. And keep in mind, if you don't know what Inktober is, you make a drawing a day, add ink, but it's a drawing a day. These don't have a ton of time spent on them. Some of them do. Some of them I had nothing to do that day, so 8-hour drawing, here we go. But this was probably like an hour and a half, 2-hour drawing. But I really like this. This got me really interested in pointillism or stippling. I like to call it stippling. This one was the next day, October 3rd. I didn't have a whole lot of time this day, but it was my best buddy's birthday, Dallas, and this is him throwing discus. We threw discus in high school together, and just wanted to give him a little shout out, give him jacked calves. But he really enjoyed it. He liked this a lot, and I should probably give it to him. This is Mr. Joe Rogan. This was right after his special came out on Netflix that year, and this was day 5. There was one scene that I watched that day that had him doing this. Like I said, this was my first year getting into Inktober. I was trying to kind of force myself into being better by like forcing myself to practice with ink. I think it came out good for not being confident in using ink at that time. In that scene, that frame moment where he was staring at the crowd trying to emphasize his point, he looked a lot like this. And I even got the tattoo in there, so that's pretty cool. Alright, next is Little Space Cat. This would have been, so this was day 6 of Inktober. I don't know. I hashtagged it Space Cat, and that's what we had. I just wanted to draw something cute. Looking back, this isn't as cute as I thought it was, but he's just sitting in space, you know? This looks like Nathan Drake from Uncharted, but it was supposed to be Ryan Reynolds. Wrong. Otto here, editing the video. I was wrong about that. So it was actually not Ryan Reynolds. In fact, it was Chris Pratt that I was drawing. Guess that kind of goes to show you how good the drawing is. I can't remember who I was even drawing before. And it's definitely not Ryan Reynolds. I used the wrong pen for sure. I should have used something like this. This is good for portraits or any type of shading. If you want to do good pen art, use one of these. You get really sideways with it. It barely puts any ink on the page. It takes forever, but it makes really good gradients. Ooh, this one is one of my favorites from that year. I think this might be my favorite from that year. So this was October 9th. A lot of stippling. This took a lot of hours. Mr. Mason Roberts actually commented on this. He gave me a bunch of hearts, which was fun. I didn't think this was going to turn out nearly as good as it did. Like I said, this is one of my favorites. I didn't stipple the whole piece, obviously. I like to do a mixture of stippling and a mixture of just line work. As you can see, the outside of him and like the inside of this. If there's ever a solid area, I'm not stippling that. I'm not stupid. I'm not going to force myself to just make dots when I could do a solid line. But like the spider, his liner around his eyes, the lines going down his suit, that was all no dot work. I actually made a time lapse of this, a little bit of the leg, and I'll throw that up on the screen if I can. This was day 13. I like it. This was probably one of my first really good eyes, and I like that I framed it. You know, I stopped. I knew I didn't want to finish the whole paper because this was, I probably published this at midnight. Yeah, I think the eyelashes are a little bit too much, but I really like the eyebrow. I could have gotten deeper with my values on the shading of the skin. It kind of showed that I understood the shape of the eye a little bit better, especially around like the lip, the highlight you got there. I definitely rushed on it. You can see instead of dots, this was just really, if you don't take your time, you try to move on to the next dot too fast, and you get this skid mark kind of look. Moving on. Okay, this was not my best. This was a little bit experimental. I didn't know what I wanted to draw here. I have no idea what I was drawing here. I guess it's a police officer at like a Chuck E. Cheese with one of those revolver Nerf guns, and she's handing you ammo. It's point of view cops shooting little kids. I like the Nerf gun. That looks really good. And that one, I'm actually kind of impressed with my angle on that. That was completely from my head. Oh, there's Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah, he's in the corner. He's got his thumbs. He doesn't know what's happening. It's some kid's birthday. Here's a ball pit. I didn't erase many of the lines here. That's kind of disturbing. Oh, some kid eating pizza. You can see the little drips from the pizza. He's got a shoe untied. There's a lot of little games in there. And I guess, yeah, it's some kid's birthday. But I definitely brushed this. She got a angled butt. God, she does not skip squats. Yeah, you can tell how fast I did this by looking at like the wall where I just scribbled his face. What was I doing? This is really bad. I like the idea. I like the fact that I came up with all this from my head. That dude looks old. He looks like a kid, but also old. This is really bad. This one was alright. I think I was trying to follow ZHC's style, sort of, like with the heavy shadows, or like DC Comics style. Heavy shadows, a lot of cross-hatching, and I kind of just got carried away. The biggest flaw that I noticed is I put the spider on the wrong side. So this is his backside, and he's looking up. And I like the head. I think the head came out good, like the muscles and everything. But I put the freaking spider, I put the webbing, I think, on the wrong side. I did one or the other on the wrong side. But this was 2 years ago. I'd like to redraw and see how it goes. Let me know in the comments if you want me to try that. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. At the time, I was driving a Ford truck, right? Like a big F-250, Super Duty. So I had a garage with, these are supposed to be lifts that pick up cars and everything. My dad's toolbox, he had many of them though. So this was kind of like, I turned my truck into a transformer, and it's me lifting him up, fixing him. Like he's obviously hurt or broken. He's got oil dripping out of him. I think the oil came out pretty good. But I really like this because I don't necessarily like everything else. I took a picture of my truck, and I came back in and I actually drew and designed my own transformer based on my truck. Oh, so I was kind of pressed for time, so I decided to do a baby, tiny drawing. It's not very big, as you can see. Grave right here. Tombstone shaped like a cross. It's like he came out of it. He's alive on Halloween. I think that's supposed to be the moon, some clouds. He's got fire. He's coming out of the frame, so that's pretty cool. A little tree, but it's really tiny, so I couldn't really do much detail. I didn't have the pins I have now. I have 0.01 millimeter pins. This was the last day of Inktober. I was gonna do something else originally. Hold on, I think I have it. Originally, I was gonna do this, and it was gonna be like a point of view of some kids coming up to your doorway on Halloween, because it was the last day of Inktober's Halloween. Another house across the street, whatever. And this would have been great if I had some alcohol markers that blended well, but this was made with Sharpie. I got to this point and I said, nope, I'm not ending Inktober like this. Threw that out, and I made a mixture between, I think this is from Halloween Town, and then the rest is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters, and I thought that combination was pretty cool. That was my 2018 Inktober. There were a lot more drawings that I did every day. I know a lot of you guys see Sketchbook tour videos on YouTube. They're all so neat. I really wish that my sketchbook could be neat like that. I wish it was moleskin. Might try to fill up one, but this is not moleskin, and I did not make this little sketch here. Everybody else customizes theirs, and they make it so aesthetic, and mine is falling apart. So I really do apologize that the aesthetic is not there. We're gonna open this up, see what's up. So I think this was the start of 2019 Inktober, and I actually followed the prompts for this, so this might get a little bit more interesting. This prompt was Inktober day 1 of 2019, and the prompt was ring. So I drew a planet with a ring of asteroids around it, and I thought that was pretty cool. This was day 2 of Inktober. That is the prompt mindless. I thought it was really good because it like kind of just, it's like a sticker, you know? It's inside of itself, you know, it doesn't need a good framing, it frames itself. This was going to be for Inktober 2019, but I actually didn't finish this until just recent. But I was actually pretty happy with this drawing. There's so much stippling, so much time that was put into this. That's not supposed to look like that. I had some gel pens, but apparently if you have like whatever Sharpie or pen is from, you know, whatever the ink is, kind of bleeds through. It creates this like bluish white. That kind of sucks. When I took the picture, it was fresh on there and it looked really good. So that's memorialized and forever. A lot of stippling. This was like almost fully stippled. So that was crazy. This wood table, I had no idea what I was doing. It came out alright, especially this area, I feel like. Not so much this area. I kind of figured out what I was doing as I got down here. I really liked this one. This one was fun to make. So I had an idea. I was like, let's just have astronauts playing baseball in space. This is really cool because you're looking, this isn't the point of view of the other astronaut, or else you would see the ball, like right here. But I drew this astronaut with a Louisville Slugger bat, and in a reflection of his helmet, you can see another astronaut and the ball that he's throwing coming at him. Like imagine if you, I had the idea like, imagine if you hit a baseball in space. Like this dude's gonna go flying back a little bit from the force. That ball is gonna go flying, I mean forever. It's gonna go so fast. This was from Inktober day 9, and the prompt was swing. I guess this was about deforestation, but here's Earth, and I like making these like stickers where they're just kind of contained inside of themselves. And then the pattern is just, you know, a seedling growing up to a tree, and then getting cut down, and then they replant the seedling, growing up into the tree, and then they get cut down, stuff like that. So I really like this one, and I like the negative space in it. Really did. I don't know how to feel about this one. So this was day 17, and the prompt was ornament. A Santa, or at least he's in like a Santa suit. He's a skeleton. You can see like his spinal cord and his rib cage and his sternum. He's got gloves on, and that just made it easier for me to draw. He's got this cool candle, and I really like how the candle came out. And then he's got an ornament that's actually like a real eyeball. I thought that was pretty cool. It's just really spooky. You know, we're getting closer to Halloween, so I was like, time to step up the spooks. It's actually day 11, and the prompt was snow. And what would be more perfect for this than the iconic scene of Wazowski getting lost in, where was he? He was in some snowy place, but he found the abominable snowman, and he had lemon flavored snow cones. And I really enjoyed making this. This was a lot of fun. Okay, so this was Inktober day 22, and the prompt was Ghost, and so I drew Ghost Rider. I still, I guess, wasn't as comfortable, or I didn't use the right pen. I feel like if I wanted to make a gradient from his skull to this bright flame, I really should have used that blue big pen. I don't even know if I maybe spent 1 hour on this. It was not something that I was proud to. It could have been better, that's all I'm saying. That's kind of like the idea with Inktober, you know, it kind of forces you to not only gain experience, but as you gain experience, become faster and more efficient in what you do. This prompt was tread. I actually really like this. I wasn't very good at dynamic movements or drawing somebody to look like they're moving, but I think I came pretty close to my best with that. I obviously drew it because of the tread on the tire. Ooh, okay. This is, So this was day 21. The treasure was the prompt. I drew the one and only Captain Jack Sparrow, and I got really detailed with it. You know, I got the pistols, the belts. The prompt was catch. I think this is a lot cuter than that, so I made a net catching that cat. Day 28, ride. I cheaped out on this one, I'll be honest with you. Inktober day 23, and the prompt was ancient. My brush pen was actually really drying out. Gave me this very textured, grainy look, and I guess it kind of worked for the drawing. Day 24, and the prompt was dizzy. Yet another kind of like sticker that kind of incorporates or, you know, borders itself. So I really like this one. Alright, so this was Inktober day 29, and the prompt was injured. So this had a lot of potential, I feel like. I wanted to do a whole scene. I had a lot of fun making this, but I had to upload it by midnight, and I hate to say it, but I am a procrastinator, and I definitely procrastinated on this. I think, like I said, had a lot of potential. This license plate says Zomb with a 3. That might be a 1. Yeah, zombie with a 3. You know, this was kind of like Plants vs. Zombies style almost. This was day 30. I decided to stray from the prompt and decided to draw Jim and Pam because that was my and my girlfriend's costumes for that day. I think we pulled it off pretty well. Definitely one of my favorite shows. Definitely one of my favorite couples. And the prompt was misfit. Yeah, I think of misfit, I think of like a, not necessarily like a criminal, but like a youth that's disturbed or breaking laws that are minor. This was Inktober day 27, and the prompt is coat. So I just drew a big coat. Alright, Inktober day 25, taste. I drew a tongue and a Ken doll for some reason, Toy Story vibe. Alright, okay, this is a really fast drawing, and it's because I went to the movies, and I thought I was going to get out of there with like at least an hour and a half to spare, and I could throw into something and actually have something decent to post. When we finished with the movie, my friends took my sketchbook that I brought with me because, you know, you gotta grind, take it everywhere you go. Anyways, they took my sketchbook when I went to the bathroom. They hid it. They had the whole movie theater staff on their side saying, we don't know where they put it. When they did, and I explained to them so many times that I had to get this drawing done, and it took them like 30 minutes to actually tell me where it was. I was so surprised. By the time the 30 minutes was up, I was thinking, maybe they don't have it. Maybe somebody just took it. Because, like, why would the staff participate in the ruse for that long? But they got me for sure, and I knocked this out in like 40 minutes, maybe less. This was Inktober day 26, and the prompt was dark, so obviously I drew the Dark Knight. Day 16, and this was prompt wild. This is actually my friend's cat. I tried to use her face. This ball of yarn is the big boulder. Definitely some issues with the perspective of the walls here, but I guess it kind of works. Oh, Inktober day 15, and the prompt was legend. So I drew Poseidon, young artist. This is how you get better. You fail repeatedly, and you'll eventually do something better. Learn from your mistakes. Make many mistakes. Day 14, and the prompt is overgrown. So I drew this giant with a giant axe, like what is his name? Paul Bunyan. He's wearing flannel or plaid. I forget what it is. Could have done a better background, but I spent most of the time on him, and I think that was the main point of the drawing. So I think he turned out pretty good. This was Inktober day 6. The prompt was husky. So I was gonna draw a husky, but you know, during Inktober, when you're drawing, depending on what time of day you draw, there are people around the world that have already hit day 6 before you have because of the time zones. So you see all of other people's, you know, drawings for that prompt kind of before yours. So I saw so many huskies, just straight up huskies drawn. Like every picture, husky, 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 the dog. You know, I was like, maybe I'll draw like a thicker person because they're husky, or I don't know. I didn't know what I was gonna draw, but I knew I wanted it to be different. I've always seen like these geometric half-drawn shapes or organic things that are drawn geometrically, and I always thought they were cool. I don't think I did a great job. I'm happy that I tried something new, and I was a little bit different from everybody else. This was Inktober Day 5, and the prompt was build. And I really like this one. This was, I normally don't do landscape, scenery kind of pictures where you have like buildings. I like drawing organic human beings. I like faces. That's all I like to do. Alright, so this was Day 4. It was prompt freeze. I kind of drew this guy in like a cryogenic chamber, kind of inspired from Black Ops Zombies teleporters or those type of machines with like the coils and everything. Day 3, this was bait. You know, I don't like deep water person. Dark water? I don't mind deep water, but like dark water and having, not being able to see and being, you know, there's a lot of things in the water. I'm not about that. I am staying on the boat, bro. If we're not swimming in Nestle's personal pool, I'm not doing it. This was actually Inktober Day 16, 2018. I tried 5 different drawings of different kinds, and none of them really worked out, so I eventually tried again and changed what I was drawing. Came out like this. I guess it was a little bit of a message to myself. Oh gosh. This isn't something I drew for Inktober, but I drew it for one of my friends as a joke. I think, yeah, she really likes sloths. She wanted us, I said, what should I draw? I was bored. And she was like, draw a sloth cowboy on a turtle, and this monstrosity took place. This was Inktober Day 10, and this was 2018, so I didn't really follow any prompts. My old boss was like scrolling through Instagram, and she was like, draw her. So I went ahead and drew one of these Instagram fitness models doing her workout or whatever the picture was. This is Inktober Day 4, 2018. This is my father, so I drew him. I love my dad, and I think he watches my videos, so hopefully he'll watch this one. This wasn't his best look, for sure. He let his hair grow out and everything. He actually cleans up quite nicely, but he had this like Tarzan look going on, so, or caveman look going on, so I figured I'd draw. And this is my friend Sydney, and she asked me to draw her for so long, and I eventually did it with a pen. I owe her a redraw, honestly. I think I did her a disservice drawing her with pen. Oh, that's math. Alright, that's it, guys. This has been a very long video, really hard to edit, but if you stuck through it, I really appreciate it. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, subscribe. If you stuck through, you better subscribe. Come on. Alright, and that's all I have for you guys. I have some other video ideas coming up next. Next video is probably going to be Posca pens versus the Arteza brand paint markers. So look forward to that. I think it'll be really cool. Thanks for watching again. Bye.